Hello and good morning. You're listening to Casey Genesis in the AM. I'm your host, Casey Genesis. Happy Wednesday to you guys. We're almost there. Almost to Friday, man. Man, I'm looking forward to it. And I'll tell you the reason why. The reason why is because it's my last work day of the week. And then on Saturday, I'm going to Vancouver, BC. Yeah. So as you all don't know, or haven't read my bio, that I'm currently living in Seattle. I have been for some time, say about 4 or 5 years. But yeah, man, like this is my first time going to Vancouver, BC. Like my first time going to Canada was back in 2020 with an ex of mine's, and let's see. No, it wasn't back in 2020. It was back in 2019. Apologies. Yeah, it's back in 2019 with an S. And then, we went to Toronto. And that's where it was like the most beautiful city I've ever been to. It's well diverse. They have everything. Kingston. And like some other parts too. And I forget. I'm sorry, but the most one. Um, Little Portugal, right? Little Portugal. Yeah, I think there was another one too, another neighborhood. Anyway, I had the best time of my life in those, uh, like during that weekend. But this time, this time I will be going to Vancouver, BC on Saturday. This Saturday with a brother of mine's. And then, we're just gonna be sitting there for like only, might as well say like 12 hours or maybe like a few hours. Because it's only gonna be like a day. We're gonna like leave around like 6 a.m. And then probably don't come back until like what 10 or 11 or 12 or something. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. That's why I have little care little care this week, despite me being a bad lead. Just like man, I ain't about that noise. I'm just trying to look forward to the weekend. Shoot, who's still with me, man? Who's still with me? Who's looking forward to the weekend? Who's who's in that mind state where it's just like what, man, forget that. Psh, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm not saying don't care about your job, but just nah, yeah, nah. That's just me though, man. Like I do love my job sometimes, but other times I'm like, forget that. You know, forget that. I'll do better next week, or I'll do better the next day. Come on, man. But man, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? It's a new episode of AEW Dynamite. So yeah, for my wrestling fans, man, we in this thing. I'm looking forward to it, definitely. And let's see. Oh yeah, yesterday, while I was here, I was reading to you guys, like news from BuzzFeed, and the whole setting screen time limits, the like on your social media apps, and everything else, as far as like streaming videos and whatnot like that. And I told you guys I was having some problems, with my sleeping, and yeah, like I've tried, like after I did this podcast, I went to bed. I went straight to bed. You can go straight to bed, but you can still be awake. But I went straight to bed and then put aside my phone. I put aside my laptop, and I took my ass to bed, man. I took my ass to bed. I took my ass to sleep. And but the thing is that I still woke up at 4:30. I have my alarm clock set at 1:30. At 1 o'clock. I mean, but most of the times I just like turn it off because I'm trying to get some of that sleep in. But yeah, like I woke up at 4:30, and man, the difference. Of course, I woke up at 4:30, and I've probably told you guys that like I'm trying to wake up at like 12 or 1 p.m. And during the past 3 weeks, I've been waking up at like 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. Because of my night shift schedule. And the thing is that this time, for sure, I woke up at 4:30 again. But I felt good. I felt good. That was the difference. The difference with the other times is that I woke up at 4:30 or 5 p.m. and I felt really bad before, but this time I felt really good. Like of course I didn't get out until the night, but hey man, I gotta get them steps in. Can't be letting no daytime nighttime thing screw with my health, my mental health and my physical health. Can't let it screw up with that, man. Gotta get it in. Get it in where you can. That's what I say, Get it in where you can. So yeah, man, I woke up at 4:30. I was feeling good. I felt relieved. I felt rested. It was all good. So yeah, man, I'm all good right here. So I'm gonna start doing that. Cause I need to start doing better about that. So I will I will read more on it, or just read it back over, and then move on to other topics as well. And yeah, setting aside screen time for social media apps. I'm gonna read that back over to you guys next. Stay tuned. Hello and good morning. You're listening to Casey Genesis in the AM. I'm your host, Casey Genesis. Jeez, man, I don't know what's going on with me this morning. I think I must have redone that intro, so many times. Do you want to get like that? Do you want to have an intro where you like first you have it, down to a T, but then like on some days or like just this one day, where you just like screw it up so many times. You have to like record yourself. I'm so glad I'm not doing this live. I talked about doing live shows, but yeah, man, it's like I don't know. It feels like it needs to be perfect, or like somewhat perfect. I don't know, but I just want to like find. If you don't want to have any trouble with their intros or something like that, I got another good idea for a podcast. Make another podcast. Just make another podcast, but that podcast would be for storytelling. Just read stories to you guys. You guys earned it. Maybe not during the day, if I get like a steady sleeping schedule. No promises though. I ain't gonna keep my word by it. Just something dumb that I've been thinking about. So yeah. But yes, let's hop into this thing, man. Feels like I've been putting it off long enough. So BuzzFeed News says, I tried setting screen time limits on my social media apps, and here's what I learned. Feels like a lot of these BuzzFeed news articles is that, the people are, reporters are just giving you their experiences, like it's like related to them, just them, because it always start with I, or with me, something like that. But yeah, man, I'm gonna read this person's article on BuzzFeed, and it says that some popular apps like TikTok and Instagram offer digital well-being settings to keep you from doom scrolling past bedtime. But Do they really help you put your phone down and get some sleep? You may know the feeling. You snuggle in bed after a long day at work, school, or taking care of kiddos and decide to surf through social media for just 5 minutes. Fast forward 30 minutes or even hours later and you're still scrolling. It's so wrong, but it feels so right. Even though you know you'll be a more cranky, sleep deprived version of yourself in the morning. It's a particularly worrisome trend in this digital age, given that more than 70 million people in the U.S. already have chronic sleep problems, and lack of adequate sleep can have an impact on your emotional well-being. In the long term, it's linked to a higher risk of health problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. That's not to say that using your phone at night would cause these health issues, but in general, if you feel like you are spending too much time on your phone to the detriment of a good night's sleep or your mental health, there are a few reasons to stop, and some technological features can be used to more easily break the habit. Why you can't stop scrolling. Whether it's social media, doom scrolling the news, streaming shows, or chatting with friends and family, your phone offers a million tempting reasons to procrastinate when it comes to sleep. Bedtime procrastination is basically going to bed later than you intended, despite having absolutely no good reason to stay up late. It's a common problem. Up to 53% of young adults do it. On some phones, you can't even see the time of day on screen when using an app, so it's easy to keep scrolling without noticing the time ticking by, sort of like how casinos are designed without clocks or windows to keep people gambling until the wee hours. Social media platforms make it very conducive to continuing your engagement, and of course, that's by design to keep you watching. The content is usually amusing or entertaining in a way that doesn't make you want to stop, said Lauren Hill, a professor of family, population, and preventive medicine at Stony Brook University in New York. You know, the real world is harder than the fake world, and most of us would, given a choice, choose the path of least resistance. All this mental stimulation ultimately prevents us from winding down and preparing to transition to sleep, according to Dr. Michael Jaffe, director of the Neurology Sleep Clinic at the University of Florida. A challenge is that the part of our brain that reinforces behaviors is stimulated by novelty. Social media scrolling always promises something new with the next scroll. One group of researchers blames FOMO, or the fear of missing out, on this nocturnal obsession with social media at night. It also may be hard to stop scrolling at night during dark times like a pandemic, climate change, related disasters, or war. Constantly checking your phone may give you a sense of control, but often at the expense of more anxiety, depression, and disrupted sleep. Why too much time on your phone can be bad for your health? Put simply, excessive phone or technology use, no matter the time of day, promotes a sedentary lifestyle, which the World Health Organization has called one of the more serious yet insufficiently addressed public health problems of our time. This was back in 2002, before personal devices with screens became more accessible. And it's not just the fact that screen time means you are moving less. Spending too much time on your phone can take the place of other more important things in your life, sleep included. It's an opportunity cost when you're on the screen, said Hill, who is also chair of the board at the National Sleep Foundation. You might not be studying for school, connecting with family, or sleeping. A 2019 study of 106 healthy people, mostly in their 20s, that was published in the journal Sleep found those who ranked higher on the bedtime procrastination scale spend about 61 more minutes per day on their phone before bed compared to those with the low bedtime procrastination. In a study, bedtime procrastinators had more depression, anxiety, and insomnia, and went to bed 50 minutes later and woke up 56 minutes later.